What's up, guys? I wanted to talk about how construction companies can get better by utilizing videos for a million things. So let's just get to it. All right. Videos are cool. Did you know that 90% of consumers make purchasing decisions after watching videos? There's two types of videos. Okay, so there's two types of videos. There's informal, right? So that's just like what you're using on TikTok, what you're using on Instagram. They're basically free, right? And then you've got professional videos, which is, you know, something a little bit nicer, something with probably a nicer camera, probably professionally edited. And obviously these ones are not free. YouTube is the best place for your videos. It's free, right? That's really awesome. It's really easy to use, and it easily links to your website and socials, right? Anything that you do, it's really easy to send a YouTube video. And then it helps you rank higher on SEO. Every time your company name, especially when it's spelled the same way, is referenced on the internet, you're going to rank higher on SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. I know some people that are really good at that. I would not consider myself an expert, although I am on the first page of Google. But the more places you are on the internet, the higher you rank. So informal videos, remember, these are the ones you're uploading to your social or whatever. They should be S.F.C. So fucking cool. Okay. S is for short or so. So under really no circumstance, well, I say that they should be no longer than 3 minutes. However, I have hour-long videos that people watch the entire way through. So as long as you're giving really good content, on a professional video, you can have a longer video, but on these informal videos, it has to be short, 3 minutes max. Okay. Fun. It should be interesting. F is for, so we got so fucking cool. So we've got short, fun. It needs to be interesting. You need to keep your viewers' attention. Here's one thing that I see construction companies do all the time. Okay, think about it this way. I see a lot of guys like whatever, moving dirt, right? Excavation companies. Your clients don't care what it looks like when you're moving dirt. They don't care. It's great for brand recognition. It's great to like find other contractors or whatever, but that is no way going to help you find clients. I just want to be very clear about that. So you digging dirt is not fun to a client 99% of the time. Okay. And then these informal videos should also be consistent. Okay. So create a plan and stick to it. So what consistent means is, it can mean a lot of things, but really on these short videos, it's like, don't try to be super serious on one video and then super relaxed on one and then cuss in another one. Like just be consistent. So if you're just going to share quick tips all the time. If you're just going to upload pictures and videos of job site and walk the job site, keep them consistent. Do the same walkthrough each time. If you're going to talk about mistakes you made, which is a really good thing to do, believe it or not, owning up to your mistakes is something that'll get you clients. But it should be consistent. So like, I'm not saying you can't do 3 different types of videos, but like, don't try to change the world. Pick a couple things and stick to it. And obviously after a while, like you're going to see like which videos are getting the most views and stuff like that. But like, for example, here's a perfect example. Don't like act like you're super professional in some videos, and then the next video be super relaxed, making jokes, or don't have all of them talking about like tips and tricks, but then have some that are just talking shit about people. Okay. Because you just create something and be consistent. All right. Now, formal videos, and this is now the informal videos can help you get people engaged. Okay. I'm not a construction company, but I get like a lot of views and stuff on my TikTok because I'm sharing really helpful advice, right? And so I'm reaching direct to my client. Social media for construction companies, these informal ones, you're honestly, unless you're in the commercial world, you're probably not going to get that many clients. However, you might get residential clients for sure with these informal videos. But these formal videos that we're about to start talking about require preparation. Informal videos are short, fun, and consistent. And the formal videos are not, okay? And there's some things that you need, or well, hold on. They still should be, they still should be relatively short, somewhat, and fun in some capacity, and they 100% should be consistent. So when we talk about consistency, these are the things I'm talking about. You need to have a good quality logo, you know. So like, do you see that? You need to be, this is another part of consistency. You have to have a good logo. You honestly, there's no nice way to say this. You look dumb when you're using a whole bunch of different logos, and you look dumb when you're just writing stuff and changing different fonts and stuff. So basically you need to have a brand kit. So you need a really high quality logo. You need to use the same font over and over, and you need to use your brand colors. So you'll see, this is my blue, this is my black, and I also use white. You see, blue, black, white, blue, black, white. And I have a whole blog post and I think video on that. So go to my website and go to the blog if you want to learn more about that. But most importantly here, you need to have a strategy. Okay. For these formal videos, you're going to be spending, regardless what you think, I promise you, you're going to be spending a lot of time and probably a lot of money on these videos. So you really, really, really need to have a strategy. You'll need to hire a videographer. You'll need to hire an editor. And all these things, we're about to talk about strategy, but, or how to come up with one. But I do want to say your videographer and editor can be the same person. All right. How do we come up with a strategy for a formal video? Well, number one, what do you want? What do you want from this video? Because I mean, at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. Okay. So what do you want? Do you want new business? Are you trying to reach potential clients? Right? Because if you're looking for clients, and a potential client would be your target audience. Are you trying to show off your company culture? Right? Some awards maybe, or whatever. This would make a potential employee a target audience. Okay. So then once you understand what you want, okay, then you're going to think about your target audience. What do they need to understand? What are you trying to show them in this video, right? So they might want to know your, for potential clients, right? Your experience, your professionalism, your references, right? And then potential employees are definitely going to want to know about money, right? Wages, benefits if you have them, the culture, do they get a company truck, whatever, right? And then this all kind of ties in again. So then you're going to have your target audience. What do they value? Okay. What your potential client values and your potential employee values are two separate things. Okay. And not only if we're talking about potential employees, a potential superintendent or foreman and a potential accountant or bookkeeper or a potential project manager, varying values. They're going to be so different. Okay. Okay. So how do you share the right information, right? Because we just talked about, even on a potential employee, like the right information is not the same information. You need to think about how your target audience speaks and understands things, right? So if you talk about accountant, they're probably going to be a little bit more formal. If you're talking about a superintendent, they'll probably be a little bit more relaxed. They're going to be using different words, and you want to make sure that you're using the same words that your client, or I'm sorry, your target audience, which could be a client or an employee, talk to them in the same language and use the same words that they use. It builds trust. Okay. Now, this is the hardest part. And even if you do this, it's still going to be hard. Okay. You have to write it down. And I mean, write it down. You've got to practice, 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 and you're still going to feel like an asshole on camera. I guarantee it. Okay. Now, how do you get the right people sharing the right information, right? Because you don't want, I mean, very rarely would you just want like some stock video with just like someone's voice over it, or like even worse, like an automated voice. Like those videos are horrible. Okay. Like the little infographics, especially when you're selling, remember, you got to remember you're selling to a human, right? All right. Again, we're going to talk about it. Write it down. You have to write it down. And tell them who you're talking about. So, hold on. We kind of skipped a part here. So let's use an example that of a potential client. Who are the right people sharing the right information to a potential client? It's not your accountant. Okay. I don't know what you do, obviously, so this could vary widely, but let's just say, for example, you're a general contractor, right? It's like you probably want the person who is in charge of the sale to be involved, right? Because they probably promise specific things. You also probably want, if you have a project manager, maybe to be involved in the process. A superintendent, absolutely, because that's the person they're gonna have to deal with the most, okay? So you're gonna want, for example, for a potential client, they're gonna wanna see the owner. They're going to know who's the big man that I'm calling when shit goes haywire. They're gonna wanna know who am I gonna have to fucking see every day? And who am I going to have to fight on paperwork, right? Because people's mind automatically goes to the negative. So you're trying to show the best light on what they want, okay? So in that example, let's keep going with that one. So you're going to write it down and you're going to tell these people up front. So once you decide, okay, I want to do a potential client video, and I want to have the big boss, the owner, probably you, the owner, I want to have our best business development guy and our best superintendent on this video. Okay. So you're going to tell them up front and you're going to give them time to prepare. You can create the script for them, right? Or you can ask them to come up with something, but I'm telling you, just go ahead and write it for them because you didn't hire actors. Okay. So one more time, they're going to feel like an asshole too, just like you are. Okay. Creating this script is the #1 most important thing. Now they can put their own twist on it or whatever, but give them a script so they can practice. Okay. Adding cool stuff. So in a video, it's so boring to just watch somebody talk, right? Like this video is fucking boring, but you're watching it because you want to learn something, right? Your clients aren't, we're keeping with the same example of the potential client. Your client's not watching to learn something. They're watching a video to determine if they trust, like, and respect you and your company. Okay. And so you got to make it interesting when you're creating these, quote unquote, formal professional videos for your website or your YouTube, whatever. So you've got to add some cool stuff in there. I think the rule is that humans have like a 7-second memory span or attention span. So you want to add some cool stuff. So like job site shots are really cool. You could do aerial videos are really cool. Just straight up some cool projects. Always on the finishes. No one gives a shit what your rough-in looks like. And get office shots and I don't know why it says office shots. Office shop. I'm sorry. Yeah. So like your shop, like maybe some guys working or whatever, people smiling, your office staff working hard. Okay. And again, the aerial photos, right? Or videos, B-roll. you want to get B-roll. That's really honestly the same as the office or shop photos, except for it's going to be videos. And it can literally just be like the camera person like zooming in on an Excel document or watching someone type or just kind of rolling their camera through the office just to like kind of get the vibe. But it's not, honestly, it's not really because the client cares about that. It's more just to keep them engaged, just to keep them watching the video. All right, let's use a real life example from a general contractor perspective. Okay, so and I'm going to put prices in here. Please remember that these really vary, but I'm just going to give you a real life example. Okay, you have to have the quality logo and the brand kit, right? So I would say that you can probably get all that for about $1,500 bucks. All right, so you have these. The strategy is, what do we want? Remember, we talked about that. We want to hire a superintendent or foreman for our local DFW projects. That's very specific, right? Because there's going to be a difference between a superintendent who travels across the US to do a project versus a superintendent who stays in the DFW area and goes home every night. Okay, so be specific. So who are we hitting? We want a potential superintendent, AKA that is our target audience. Okay, we're wanting them to have 10 to 15 years of experience. We want them to currently live in DFW or a willingness to live in DFW. Honestly, I would just stick with DFW. Now, what do they need to understand? So we want a superintendent that's very specific here, right, with those details. And we want them to understand the requirements and location, right? We want them to understand the wages and benefit, right? Why do they want to work for you? And we'd want them to understand the culture, right? Like, because who wants to work for an asshole boss, right? Okay, so then now we need to figure out, that's what we want. That's what the target audience needs to understand. That's a target audience. That's what they need to understand. And now, what do they value? Okay, what language do they want to hear? They want to hear that they don't have to travel. Okay, superintendents who like to travel are not the same as superintendents who don't like to travel. Okay, those are two different breeds, and I promise you 100%. Okay, so they're valuing being home. All right, they value, probably, I'm making this up, but I'm assuming here that you have options on which projects, but let's just say they value building cool projects. Most superintendents I know like building cool projects, right? Like, they don't want to just build a Dollar General over and over and over and over and over, right? Like, they want a little bit more challenge or something. And now, if you think about this, let's think back. So what else would somebody, a superintendent with 10 to 15 years of experience, what else would they value? Well, obviously they want to make good money, right? But they're a little bit older, right? You're not hiring a 22-year-old. You're probably hiring at least a 35-year-old, if not 45, 55, 60 years old, right? They're gonna really care about health benefits. So let's just be real about that, okay? So let's say, like, how did this actually go? So script took 2 hours of prep. Okay, so remember, you're going to have to, all that stuff we just talked about, plus you're going to have to write a script for the people you want in the video. Okay, so we did 1 hour of shooting in the office with the owner of the company, right? Because they're going to want to work for a cool boss, right? We did 1 hour of shooting in the office with an existing foreman, right? They're going to want to see what it's actually like to work on the job with somebody that they're automatically going to know, like, and trust, because I'm sorry, not like, trust. I don't know, I can't remember. I'm blanking. Anyways, so they're going to want to see somebody who does the exact same job as them, right? And then 1 hour of shooting the B-roll of the shop, maybe some wrapped trucks, people working at their desks, company awards if you have any. And remember, you can keep using this B-roll. So don't feel like you're going to have to add an hour every single time that you create a new video. So then what happens? We waited 3 weeks for the first draft. and then it was edited. It was edited 2 more times. So the total editing time was about 7 weeks. You can absolutely get it quicker, but you're going to be, getting charged a premium. You should assume that for every 1 minute of professional video airtime, or whatever you want to call it, it's going to be anywhere from about $1,000 to $5,000. So yeah, 100% you can go find someone cheap. But you're going to get cheap shit. Okay. And I just want to say this as an overarching rule. The more time you spend preparing in general, plus the script, the less time you're going to film. You want to film the least amount of time you can, because you're paying the editor to edit all that. So if you can get in there and shoot this in 10 minutes, it'll take them maybe an hour of editing. If you go in there, you're fumbling, you're misstepping, you keep messing up, and everybody else is keep messing up, then they're going to have to film you for 45 minutes. And then they're going to have to watch that 45-minute video a million times. Do the work up front and prepare. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Obviously, I guess you're on my website or my YouTube. So yeah, that's great. I do offer video services, and I can show you guys some examples of videos I've done. So, all right, guys, talk to you later.